learn to fight.
Junky, what's going on, fellas? We got in 3 new reels here from Piscifun. Brand new offering from them. This is the Phantom X. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the reel, go over each gear ratio and what I would use each gear ratio for. If you guys seen my last video, I picked up a couple other reels that I plan to review next season. I'm going to be reviewing this one as well. I just want to give you guys a few different price points depending on what your budget is, so you guys go ahead and pick up a new reel if you'd like to. So anyways, that's what we're going to do today. Check out the reel, check out the gear ratios. Alright guys, we cracked them open. One thing I really like about this series, that really jumps out at you, is each gear ratio is color coded. So the blue is a 5.3, orange is a 6.3, red is 7.6. So you can easily identify the reels as they're laying down on the deck of your boat. Let's go check out the blue one here. The 5.3, that blue looks really nice against that matte black finish. To the spool, handle side, oversized handle, plenty of cranking power there. You'll notice clinking tension knob, which is really nice at this price point. Normally that's an option on a higher end reel. So at this price point, really cool to see that option. Side cover, push the button, turn down, pop that off. You'll see the centrifugal brakes. Pull the spool out there. Easy to adjust. To the right, more brake. Left, less brake. Alright, when would I use a lower gear ratio reel like the 5.3? For me, this is great with big spinner baits and deep diving crankbaits. You can use it with square bills and really any crankbait. You have a whole lot of power with that lower gear ratio reel. But for me, spinner baits, deep diving crankbaits is where the 5.3 really shines. Okay. From there we move on to the Workhorse. The 6.3 is what I have on 80% of my rods. To me, it's the most versatile gear ratio. I know guys these days like the 7-speed, the faster gear ratio reels, but you just feel less drag, less fatigue on you when you have more power, depending on technique now as well. But I'll tell you guys a little story, which I mentioned in another video. It was maybe a month or so ago. I was tossing chatterbaits in the grass. I was just fishing at a farm pond, standing on the bank, and I'd get hit out in the middle of the pond, right where the grass bed was, and when they got you down in that grass, with a 6-speed reel, I could horse them in, all the way to me, no problem, just cranking them in. I went there the next day, I was using an 8.1 gear ratio reel. I'd get hit, they'd take me down to the grass, and you just had no torque, you had no power with that higher gear ratio reel. You had to use the rod, and keep reeling back and forth, rod and reel to get that fish in. You just have no power really with those higher gear ratio reels. So for me, I just feel I'm just more versatile using the 6-speed reels for, how I like to fish. Now again, there's benefits to each one. Use what you like. I just prefer the 6-speed reel. Anytime, I'm reeling the bait in, whether it be a spinnerbait or a crankbait or a chatterbait, swim jig, even a Texas rig. If there's things like that, for me, it's hard to beat a 6-speed reel just because I can speed it up and I can slow it down. It's just really versatile. Again, use what you like, but 6-speed is what I like the most. Now 7-speeds are great anytime you're using the rod to work the bait. Let's say you're dragging a jig, Carolina rig, even just pitching and flipping, things like that. Pitching and flipping, it's about how many more times can you get that bait in and out. So higher gear ratio reel, you'll get the bait back to you faster. Obviously, more time you're in and out of the mat, more bites you're going to get. So, in that situation, the higher gear ratio reel is much better because it gives you more fishing time. And again, if you're just dragging a jig or Carolina rig, you're using the rod to work the bait, you're just using the reel to pick up the slack. So again, those situations, the higher gear ratio reel is much better. And again, it's all personal preference. I know some guys, like one over the other for whatever reasons. Again, I like the 6-speed majority of the time. 7-speed definitely have its purpose. Like I said, when you're using the rod to work the bait, pitching and flipping, things like that, I definitely prefer the higher gear ratio reel. But when you're looking for power, that's where the 5-speed and 6-speed come into play. But check out that red, guys. It really looks slick too against that matte black. So guys, that's a little rundown of when I would use each gear ratio, for different techniques.
As always, thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button and follow us on Instagram and Facebook.